So you gathered all the parts, watched a bunch of videos on YouTube, and built yourself a brand new PC. But now what? I'm going to show you step by step how to set up your new build and get it up and running. Let's get started. Hey guys, welcome to Elevated Systems. I'm your host CJ, and if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're into all things tech, please consider subscribing to the channel so you don't miss all my future content. If you're a returning viewer, you probably recognize this, the all-purpose PC. I did a complete step-by-step build guide on this PC, so if you missed it, be sure to check it out. This is part 2 of that video, and today I'm going to show you how to set the correct settings in the UEFI menu, download and install Windows 10, download and install all the up-to-date drivers, and how to download and install MSI Dragon Center so you can sync and change the lighting of the system. Now, before we get started, there are a few things you'll need. First is a USB flash drive, at least 8 gigabytes in capacity. 2 flash drives is actually ideal, but one will work in a pinch. You'll also need another operational computer, preferably a Windows computer, but that's not completely necessary. Finally, that computer needs access to the internet. So I have my USB thumb drive and I borrowed my wife's laptop, which is connected to the Wi-Fi. So let's plug in the thumb drive. Now, if there are any files on this drive, back them up as the drive will be wiped. Now, open up your web browser and let's just search for Windows Media Creation Tool. Ah, yuck, Bing. Anyway, here it is. I'll add this direct link in the description, but here you want to scroll down to here and download tool now. Once the tool downloads, just click to open and launch the app. You can read the license agreement, but basically it says you don't own this software, but you can pay a licensing fee to use it, and we'll just collect your data and use it however we want. And if something goes wrong, you agree not to sue us. You know, the basic, you want to use our software, we want your metadata. Now, if you're not cool with that agreement, you can check out my video on installing Linux, or if you're like, metadata, schmetadata, let's drive on. Here you want to select Create Installation Media. Then Next. Here, uncheck Use Recommended Options for this PC and make any necessary changes to the selections. In this case, they're correct for me, so I'll click Next. We are going with the USB flash drive. Next. Select your USB flash drive and click Next. Now the download and media creation will begin. This should take several minutes depending on your internet speeds. Once the process is complete, click Finish. Now double check the contents of the flash drive. It should look something like this. Now, while I have a computer and internet, I'm going to download all the drivers I'll need to install later. So if you just have the one flash drive, create a new folder on it. This is where you'll download the driver packages to. Or if you have a second drive, use that. Now open your web browser and search for the manufacturer's page for your motherboard. Today, that's the MSI B460 Torpedo. Once you find the page, there should be a support tab. The first thing is the BIOS. Now, I typically don't install beta versions of the BIOS, but if you have a supported graphics card, you can try it out. I'm going to download the latest stable version because I know my motherboard has the original launch BIOS version. Now, we can click on the driver tab and I'm going to download every driver listed here. Finally, go to the Utility tab, select the OS, and here I'm just going to download MSI Dragon Center software. Of course, all those driver packages downloaded to the Downloads folder, so I'll just transfer them to the USB drive. Okay, let's power the system up for the first time. On the first boot, or anytime you make a change to one of the core components, you should be presented with this screen, which will give you information on your CPU, memory, and connected peripherals. Hit F1 to enter the UEFI menu. I mentioned in part 1 that this motherboard, while the frequencies are locked on the CPU and memory, if provided with adequate cooling, you can set the CPU power limits higher. So since we installed a Tower air cooler, select it from the menu. However, the actual performance gains with this power increase are pretty much unnoticeable in typical computing tasks, so if you're more interested in power efficiency, you can select the box cooler option for the lower power levels. Now here you have a couple of options. I typically don't make many changes to the BIOS prior to installing Windows. However, if you want to update the BIOS now because it's out of date and make all the settings now to get it out of the way, just click the timecode below to see how I do that. But now I'm just gonna make one change and a check initially. First, if you click the memory tab, you see that our memory is running at 2133 megahertz. Click the Profile 1 button to enable the XMP profile, which will set all the optimized timings and the max frequency of 2666 megahertz. I covered RAM selection and board limits pretty extensively in the build video. Now, hit F7 to enter the advanced menu. Click on the Settings tab, and under Power Management, ensure that the BIOS mode is set to UEFI. Some motherboards default to CSM or compatibility mode. UEFI mode will make sure you can enable options like secure boot or future options like smart access memory. It'll also ensure your NVMe SSD is properly formatted as a GPT partition when installing Windows. Okay, this is the point where you can plug the Windows installation USB we made into one of the rear USB ports. Now, click the X in the top right corner of the BIOS menu, confirm your changes, and the system should reboot into the Windows setup. Select your regional info here and click Next, and click Install Now. Now, if you have a Windows product key, you can enter it here, but you don't need one to install Windows. Just click I don't have a product key. If you didn't input a product key, you can select which version of Windows you want to install. For a typical user, I recommend the home version. You can always upgrade later if you need the pro features. Another license agreement, it says the same stuff. Here, we're not upgrading, so select the advanced option. Now, I only have one drive in this PC, but if you have more than one, make sure you select the drive you want to use as your boot drive. Now just sit back and let it do its thing. The system will reset once or twice, and eventually you'll get to this setup screen. It's all pretty self-explanatory, but here we discover why we downloaded all the drivers. Now, I do have the PC connected to an active LAN. However, whatever generic Ethernet driver Windows is using isn't working. If it does work for you, then you can add your network login info and connect. I'll just click I don't have internet. Now, if you are connected to the internet, here you can log in or create a Microsoft account. I'll just click Continue with Limited Setup. Now add a username and password. Now, you can read through each of these, but I just turn them all off for as much privacy as possible. I also turn off Cortana. And almost there, and congratulations, you installed Windows. Now that Windows installed, I'm gonna install all those drivers we downloaded. I'm doing that before I update Windows because once they're installed and added to the Windows registry, Windows in most cases will also update them as necessary. So let's open the USB drive where I have the drivers and extract the installation packages by simply opening the archive and dragging the folder onto my desktop. I'll do this for each archive. To install these is pretty straightforward. Just open the folder, double-click the setup file, and follow the prompt. There is a system restart after each one. The final package to install is the MSI Dragon Center. Once the initial installation completes, you need to launch the app from the Start menu as an administrator to complete the installation. Now you have a suite of fan controls and stat monitoring, and you have Mystic Light where you can sync all the RGB lighting connected to the motherboard in the system. Once everything is installed, you can delete the installation packages. Now we can update Windows. Click the Windows menu, click Settings, Updates and Security, and now check for and install any available updates. Okay, now that Windows is installed and up to date, all the drivers is installed, let's go ahead and update the BIOS and tweak all the BIOS settings. So to do this, first I want to extract the BIOS file. So open up the thumb drive again, and this time I want to extract the BIOS file, and once it's extracted, I want to move it to the root of the USB flash drive. Once it's there, we can restart the PC and just start mashing the delete key until we get back into the UEFI. Once you get into the UEFI, click the M Flash tab. Now in this menu, select the BIOS file on your flash drive, click yes, and then just make sure the computer doesn't lose power for any reason during the flash process. Once the flash process is complete, the system will automatically reboot back into Windows, so restart again so we can get back into the UEFI. Now you can see the BIOS is updated. It even has some color. The first thing we want to do is reapply our XMP profile because the motherboard reset to default settings after the BIOS update. Now the only other thing I'm going to do is adjust our fan curves just a little bit. So click down here on Hardware Monitor. Make sure the CPU fan 1 is selected, and then the only thing I'm going to change here is the step up and step down times, which I'll set to the max of 0.3 seconds. Not a huge difference, but it will help manage the rapid changes in fan speeds as CPU temperatures fluctuate. Now select System Fan 2 or whichever header you have your case fans connected to. I'm also going to max the ramp up and ramp down times, then activate Smart Fan Mode. This will change the fan speed from a steady about 1000 RPM to a more controlled fan curve that'll run slower at idle and ramp up as the CPU heats up. Now we can close out of the hardware monitor and close the UEFI menu, save our changes, and we're done. Congratulations! If you followed part 1 and part 2 of this series, you've successfully built and set up a PC. But if you do have any questions, be sure to ask in the comments. I hope you learned something today. That is why I do what I do. If I did my job well, please remember to hit that like and consider subscribing. I hope to see you in the next one. Until then, stay safe.